You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips Podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today, I've got another clip from my much longer interview with Craig Nishizaki on the Sales Success Stories podcast. Here's Craig again.
I would say learn a methodology that you can, a sales method or process that you can learn so well that it just becomes part of who you are and how you function. Get a coach and a mentor right away. I would say, again, learn as much as you can. Be a sponge about your industry, your product, your solutions, your competitors, the problems that the types of prospects or your ideal prospects are trying to solve for. And then look at industry research so that you have some knowledge that you can bring to the table. And I think the bigger thing, too, is I call it embrace the uncomfortable silence. Like when I'm in a meeting, a lot of times I'm just asking a question and sitting there listening and not saying much. And then asking another thing that sparks a deeper conversation and then sitting there. And I remember on one of my first sales calls at my current job, I was with our not one of my first ones, one of the first ones that our CEO went on with me. And he would just jump in because he didn't understand why I was being quiet. But if you're able to embrace that uncomfortable silence and allow that other person to talk, and then you spark it with another question that lets them go deeper, there's a tremendous amount of trust that starts being built in that conversation. At the end of the day, they may not know much more about your company than they did when they came, but you know a lot more about what they need than when you first sat down with them. And from there, you're able to kind of craft your message that really provides a lot of value and drives things forward. You know, that's the early part of it. And toward the end is when you're closing, right? And you're saying, hey, are you ready to make a decision today? Are you ready to move forward, et cetera? And sitting there, embracing that uncomfortable silence allows you to, kind of force the issue that they have to give you an answer, whether it's yes, no, maybe, or I'm not the person that can make that decision. But just those are the main tips I would give to someone that's getting into this industry today. I think the last one would be that, people may criticize you, may gossip about you, et cetera, for the fact that you're getting into sales or whatever, but sales is an honorable profession. It's a profession that everyone, no matter what industry, they need to learn the skills, right? If you're in a dating relationship, you're a salesperson. Because somebody's bought your bill of goods, right? If you're a doctor and you have good bedside manner and you're able to convey some diagnosis in a manner that gives someone some hope, or at least gives them a plan for what's next, he's kind of, in a way, selling you on this plan, right? And so look at it as one of the best professions that you could be in. And it's a skill that you would need if you wanted to own a company, if you want to be a leader, et cetera. So never waver in that if you're new and you're wondering if you've made the right choice.
Now, I probably should have cut this clip down to just the part where Craig talked about embracing the uncomfortable silence, but I liked what he said at the beginning about finding a process, a coach, and mentors. But more importantly, what he shared at the end about sales being a really important profession that you should never feel bad about. Now, in one of your conversations today, I want you to focus on embracing that uncomfortable silence. Take a deep breath before you ask your next question. Just wait and see what happens. Then tell us about it at dailysales.tips/88, where you'll also find links to all things Craig Nishizaki, including his full interview with me on sales success stories. Then come back tomorrow for the last tip in Dale Dupree's 5-part series. Thanks for listening.